So I was lucky enough to interview Mark Benioff last week about everything Agentforce. Benioff is completely fired up about agentic AI, which he describes as what AI was always meant to be. The Salesforce CEO is regarded as a tech industry visionary and renowned for his leadership, philanthropy, and social responsibility. He founded Salesforce in late 1999 as the first popularized cloud-based CRM, and ultimately beat out the tech incumbents to not only win but dominate the cloud CRM market. Could Mark Benioff do the same again with artificial intelligence? That's the question. Are you looking for the latest insights to turbocharge your Salesforce instance? We've partnered with IBM for the last few years to launch their State of Salesforce report, an overview on the latest trends in the ecosystem and how they impact your org. This year, the trends that were revealed are definitely not ones to miss, with even more telling insights than last year. I recommend everyone in the ecosystem to read the report, and you can download it for free at salesforcebend.com/IBM, or you can click on the link in the comments. Salesforce ultimately won the market through technological innovations, pioneering the SaaS model and clever marketing, even ending up with over 4 times the market share of the nearest competitors. Some of these marketing schemes included staging a fake protest outside a rivals conference. And on another occasion, Benioff cleverly had Salesforce hire every taxi at Nice airport, giving IT executives a Salesforce-branded 45-minute pitch on their way to the rivals event. In the early 2000s, cloud computing was the technology of the future. And over the next 25 years, Salesforce capitalized on the $1 trillion market to grow into the giant it is today. Although we've been through many technological trends such as mobile, social, big data, digital transformations, and collaboration tools, of which Salesforce have mostly capitalized on, there is nothing quite like AI. It's being implemented in every industry and company, and many professionals will already be using tools such as ChatGPT, which now has over 200 million users per week. Bloomberg has estimated that generative AI will become a $1.3 trillion market by 2032. This may also double the cloud market revenues to $2 trillion by 2030 due to the huge amount of computing power that is needed. As a case in point, NVIDIA became the world's most valuable company again. Benioff goes on to say,
"This is a big moment for every company who can become more productive, augment their employees, increase their customer fidelity, improve their overall company KPIs, and deliver an agentic layer over their whole company, and come up with all kinds of amazing new ideas."
Generating continued widespread buzz and excitement off the back of an IT conference is no easy feat, and that's exactly what Salesforce has done. Agentforce is relatable and tangible, and it's exactly what the Salesforce community has been waiting for. As we enter this new era of technology, some reminders take us back to the early cloud computing battles of the 2000s, namely Salesforce going after its competitors. And in the age of AI, it's Microsoft. Microsoft are a threat to Salesforce. They compete against each other in multiple product categories and have a tight relationship with OpenAI, as we covered last week. Benioff has made various comments about Microsoft Copilot that he told me he tried to use himself, which in the world of close-knit B2B SaaS can only be described as scathing.
Well, I just think Microsoft has done such a disservice to the whole industry with how they've positioned AI. So I haven't bought it. But then I'm using it and I'm like, it's not grounded into any of my data. It doesn't have any levels of accuracy. It was spilling data for me.
Could this be the start of another epic rivalry a la the Salesforce versus Oracle battle in the early 2000s? This particular photo always makes me laugh as the Salesforce fighter jet is shooting down a version of a real Oracle biplane. If Salesforce aims to lead the early stages of B2B AI, then it needs to use the same cunning as they did for the cloud computing revolution, a mixture of product and platform innovation with a dash of Salesforce's marketing prowess. And there is no doubt that Salesforce knows what they are doing when it comes to marketing. How else do you get people to pay for Salesforce merchandise via the in-person store at Dreamforce? But with Agentforce only going GA a couple of weeks ago, we'll have to wait a couple of quarters at least to see if agents will be implemented as quickly as Benioff suggests. At Dreamforce, he announced a goal to reach 1 billion customer-created agents by the end of 2025.
Well, this is our goal. We're trying to get every employee at Salesforce to work on this and do nothing else.
But from the conversations that I've had, and the general reaction from the markets, as well as the ecosystem community, Salesforce have created something that is in line with everyone's expectations. They have used their foundational Einstein 1 platform built from last year to build upon to create Agentforce, with a familiar interface creating out-of-the-box agents, sales and service, as well as the ability to create custom agents on the platform. But of course, as optimistic as the market is for agents to change the game, there are concerns. Concerns around existing Salesforce implementations, their complexity and technical depth, data integrity, as well as confusion around how Salesforce will be pricing the agents beyond the $2 cost per conversation metric. But what really matters to Salesforce at this stage is that the Agentforce product is slick, easy to implement, and marketable. The implementation of most Salesforce products is rarely straightforward. However, you could argue this is because of the highly customizable nature of the platform. But with Agentforce, Salesforce is incentivized to get customers set up as quickly as possible. With the new consumption-based pricing model, fast implementations aren't only important, they are vital. If customers don't like their agents, don't see ROI and switch them off, Salesforce doesn't get paid. But the adoption and implementation of agents are already high, thanks to workstations at Dreamforce and the many Agentforce world tours happening across the world. Over 10,000 agents were created at Dreamforce, and as Benioff says,
and thousands more now that have UK world tours already happened, Tokyo world tours already happened, Australian world tours already happened, there's a New York world tour coming in November. Our job is to basically give you the agents you want easily and quickly and at a low cost, and just help us make it easier, make it faster, and make it lower cost. That's all we're trying to do. And we want to keep you as trailblazers at the tippy top of the technology industry.
But one of the secondary announcements that got slightly swept under the rug was the announcements that agents will become available on a freemium plan via Salesforce Foundations. Previously, Prompt Builder was only available via paid license upgrades, meaning that your average Salesforce professional won't have any experience with Salesforce's AI product suite. This decision ensures professionals can upskill, start experimenting with agents and AI in their org, and therefore evaluate the platform before rolling it out. It will also presumably trigger a wave of user-generated agent content throughout the Salesforce ecosystem. Mark Benioff credits this decision not to any of his employees, but to Vernon Keenan, a Salesforce analyst who wrote the article in his blog entitled "Why Salesforce Trailblazers Don't Care About AI," who was right on the money with the way most of the ecosystem was feeling about this technology. In my discussions with Salesforce executives at Dreamforce, I learned that the decision to incorporate Agentforce into Foundations was made at the last minute, leading to some last-minute stress and late nights to ensure it was ready for the Tuesday keynote. But it's fantastic that this decision was made. Benioff emphasized the importance of feedback throughout our interview.
They should always reach out to me on email, co@Salesforce. Tell me exactly what's going on, or directly on Twitter, of course.
But the most important bit of feedback Salesforce are after at the moment is with Agentforce. Potentially a big factor in opening up the platform to the wider community for free. As any business owner, entrepreneur, or product manager will know, feedback is the key to progressing a product. In my opinion, there has been a bit of an outstanding question in regards to AI in the ecosystem and who will be implementing these products. Do we need to hire LLM experts, hire expensive consultants with neural network experience? But in Benioff's opinion, it will be the Salesforce ecosystem's trailblazers who will be at the heart of this revolution. Salesforce had a clever mantra at Dreamforce 24, which echoed back to their days of pioneering the cloud industry. Don't DIY your AI. Essentially, this means you don't need to hire specialized AI consultants or implement multiple products to amalgamate your data. You can simply buy Salesforce. This is exactly the same pitch Salesforce and Benioff would have used back in 1999 to IT executives. Don't worry about server infrastructure, complex installations, or uptime. Just let us do it. Benioff told me about a deal he is working on, a $23 million deal with a large telecoms company, of which $9 million of that is Agentforce.
And why I'm excited about that is because I want to make the world's first agent-first telecom company. And I want to really sit with that CEO and really transform them as a business and do something incredible for them. I think every member of the ecosystem, this will be their role. Up to this point, we've mostly done is, hey, let us connect your customers in a whole new way. That's been the mission of the Trailblazers. And they've done it as an incredible community that helps them each other along the way.
He then took a moment to really emphasize the importance of not DIYing your AI, and take a slight dig at a certain competitor in the process.
You're not going to load up a hyperscaler who's going to plug into some nuclear power plant and, hook up some Copilot that doesn't work. We're going to actually do this, and here's the demo, and let's go.
And when I finished the interview asking if external AI specialists were needed for these implementations, Benioff replied,
"This is a trailblazer first product."
Salesforce has been through a tough few years after their 20+ years of being a darling of Wall Street. The company that pioneered cloud computing has been one of the fastest growing enterprise software companies of all time and dominates multiple major B2B software categories. However, the wider macroeconomic environment, among other factors, has hampered their growth, dropping from a steady 20 to 25% quarterly growth to around 10%, even spurring activist investors to join their ranks for the first time. But as we are entering the next technology revolution, which many peg as the most significant since the dawn of the internet, Salesforce and Benioff have a chance to reinvent themselves. Whilst there's been a more pessimistic outlook within the Salesforce community in recent times due to layoffs and less demand for professionals, Agentforce is providing renewed optimism. And so far, Salesforce seems to be doing everything right. The battle for AI supremacy will be fierce. And we as the Salesforce community have a chance to rally behind Salesforce and support the company, testing Agentforce, creating content, and providing as much feedback as possible. We are still in the first innings of the AI revolution, and there is a long road to go until we see a winner in the B2B CRM space. But would I place a bet against the man and company who defined the SaaS and cloud era and created one of the most successful modern software companies of all time and beat out the incumbents to 23% CRM market share? You know what? Probably not.